Welcome to Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly with host Nancy Becker on Global Voice Radio. Nancy and her guests will share tips and recommendations on moving forward in your life and business now and not waiting till pigs fly. Here's your host, Nancy Becker.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, where we talk with business owners who are experts on running their business and are willing to share with us their knowledge, their tips, their expertise on various aspects so that we can run our businesses better and we all soar higher. Today, I am welcoming Vicky, who is a business coach for the small business owner and a life coach for the person struggling with limiting beliefs, cognitive dissonance, as well as those who earnestly want to achieve more for themselves. In addition to coaching, a part of Vicky's business is spent as a trainer, helping owners and individuals enhance their social media presence, particularly in using LinkedIn for their business. Vicky offers her services on a custom one-to-one basis and finds great satisfaction in seeing her clients bust through their barriers to become all they can be. When Vicky isn't working, you'll find her painting, reading, or chilling with her husband Dan and their two cats, Taz and Claudette, enjoying a Netflix episode. Vicky can be found on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Welcome, Vicky. That's a great profile there. Lots and lots of information.
Thank you so much for having me, Nancy.
Vicky and I are old friends, and I could not have gotten to where I am in my business without her help and mentorship over the last few years. So first and foremost, I want to thank her for that and to let everybody who's listening know that she's a great person to have on your side when you're trying to grow your business.
Oh, what wonderful words. Thank you so much, Nancy.
You're welcome. It's all true.
Yeah, excited seeing your business soaring higher every day, too. So,
well, thank you. Today, what we're going to do is talk about LinkedIn. And I know I'm on LinkedIn and I use it here and there, and I know some of the ins and outs, but LinkedIn, if you're a business owner, Facebook is all fine and dandy, and most of us do focus our attention on Facebook. But I have to tell you, LinkedIn really is, depending on the type of business you have, really the place where you ought to be focusing your energy. It is a business-to-business platform, and for the most part, the people who are there looking to grow their businesses, looking to find people to work with, clients, vendors. It's a really serious business organization. So it behooves us all to know as much about and work as much in LinkedIn as we possibly can. And I am excited to turn the microphone over to Vicky so that she can tell us about some of the ways that we need to get started using LinkedIn and how to go about doing it. So with that, Vicky, take it away.
Thanks so much, Nancy. Actually, you did such an amazing job there of recapping things that you've learned yourself that I almost have nothing left to do.
Well, you got an hour to do nothing in, so go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, I should, LinkedIn is a topic that I absolutely love talking about and teaching people about. So I don't think it'll be too difficult to fill in the time. One of the things in the very, very beginning, something that you said about it's a platform that if as a business owner you need to be on. Any business owner, like LinkedIn is not just a platform for professionals or for business, like online business owners, things like that. It's a great platform for brick and mortar, or if you're an electrician, if you're a plumber, if you are a not-for-profit organization, you can utilize LinkedIn for that as well. You simply have to kind of understand what the strengths of LinkedIn are and how to utilize it. And for myself, as an example, I use LinkedIn sort of as a personal brochure about, so people can go to my profile and they can learn a little bit about me. They can learn about my work experience, and they can also learn about things I'm interested in, organizations I volunteer for, that kind of thing. What I don't do on LinkedIn is I don't use the advertising platform so much, because I do find that unless you're a large business and you have a larger marketing budget, it does tend to be quite pricey. And there are ways of connecting with your network that won't require paid advertising. If you need to advertise, I would definitely recommend that you strategize with a social media expert to combine either Facebook or Instagram or a separate platform to advertise or to kind of promote your products, and tie it in with LinkedIn to promote you, because you are the product on LinkedIn. So the thing you don't really want to do when you connect with somebody is the first message being, "Oh, I'm a life coach. Do you need my services? Come visit me on my website, and I'll give you a free discovery session." That has never worked. Well, actually, I've never really tried it. I couldn't do that. But throwing out a sales pitch when you first meet somebody on LinkedIn, and I do encourage people to be very open and social on this platform. It's not the best approach to connect with people. It's not the best way to start a relationship. What I do say is I always thank people for inviting me to join their network, and then I will ask them, how can I help? And if they don't respond, I don't go back and say, you know what, I am a coach. Can I help? Can I help? Or I'm a trainer. Can I help? I simply keep my eye on them, see what they're up to, if they've got any posts. So your regular news feed, I guess, or your home scroll is a really great place. It's a what would you call it? Nancy, help me here.
Just a way to follow up with people.
But the news feed is like, that's like the homepage on
Facebook.
On Facebook, and so you read everybody's posts and shared posts and things like that. Now it is called home at the top on the menu bar. So if you just click on home, you'll see this nice scroll, and then those are only posts of people that are in your network, or that people in your network have shared of other people that are in their network. So if you're following somebody like, Richard Branson or, Simon Sinek or somebody like that is more of a social media or online celebrity, then you can follow these different influencers, and then their posts and their articles will appear. So, basically, the most important thing for getting your presence known on LinkedIn are to have a good profile. And what does that mean? In a very, very
oh, bless you.
Oh my. Something in the air. I apologize to anybody listening right now too. I hope I didn't blast your eardrums out. And I'm sure there's going to be another one. You know how they say it always comes in threes. So what was I saying? Anyway, I was talking
about a profile.
Okay. So what you need to take a look at your profile. You know, there's a few components, and LinkedIn does a great job of walking you through the different components. And so you'll notice as you complete your profile that there'll be a little section that'll say, oh, you know, you've now your profile is like 65% complete. Do you want to add experience, or do you want to add volunteers, or do you want to add, you know, recommendations or referrals? And it will basically take you by the hand and lead you through completing your profile. If you don't want to add that bit that they're asking you if you want to add, you simply don't add it. Move on to the next section. And understand that, you know, LinkedIn is kind of setting itself up as a guide to you to have as complete an experience and as beneficial an experience as you can possibly have with setting up your profile and sharing it amongst your network. And why do they do that? Well, the biggest reason is that if you have a good experience on LinkedIn, then you are going to continue to use it. And the thing I hear the most from people is like, oh yeah, I started a LinkedIn profile. I don't even remember what my password is or my login is. And, you know, I haven't been on for like 5 years or some really outrageous thing like that. And then the next statement they'll tell me is that, you know, it doesn't work for me. And just like anything else, things work if you work them. And if you don't want to be on a LinkedIn profile, I would definitely recommend that you delete your profile, because there's your empty or old profile is sitting on LinkedIn for people to find, and your last activity might be 2012. And, you know, there's an old picture of you. Like, you know what? It's just not a really good promotional tool for you to use for yourself today. So if you decided to not use LinkedIn, you know what? They're not going to be too offended if you delete your profile. You know, 2 people every second, as a matter of fact, are joining LinkedIn. And 40% of the people that are members of LinkedIn are active. So it's a very robust online community. But as I said, you know, if your profile is mostly blank, no picture or no recent picture, I know I'm getting in my notifications, I get updates, alerts telling me, oh, congratulate so-and-so, you know, Jane Doe, congratulates Jane Doe on, 15 years at, Walmart. Well, I know that Jane Doe, because I know her personally, and I know that Jane Doe retired 3 years ago, and she's no longer at Walmart or anywhere else, right? She's like cruising around the Caribbean or someplace like that. It's or whatever it is that they're doing. If you're not going to at least pop on there when there's big changes in your life, then remove the profile, because people will get notifications and then they'll be like, oh, congratulations on your work anniversary or your birthday or whatever, and then they never hear back from you. And it's not always the nicest feeling when you reach out to somebody and you get nothing back.
I'm going to stop you right there for a second.
Yes,
just
absolutely.
To give you an example of exactly what you're talking about. I was, and I'm certainly not going to say really good friends because I hadn't talked to this woman in several years, but we were colleagues and contacts and had worked heavily together at one period of time.
Right.
And then I lost track of her. And I was thinking, I need to get back and find her again and get working with her again. I
wonder what
miss
she's up to. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss all of this. And I started Googling her, and I happened to pull up LinkedIn and send her a message on LinkedIn, and I get a message back that she had died 3 years earlier. So, you're exactly right. You need to continue to put things up there. The whole purpose of being in business these days is connected to the concept of building relationships.
Exactly.
No longer are we the old used car salesman, or I was doing a presentation a couple of days ago talking about networking and the concept of being at a networking group and walking around the room and throwing your business cards out like a tennis machine ball. You don't do that anymore. It's all about building something between you and another person that gives you a connection.
Absolutely. Yes.
And that's what LinkedIn is all about. And
it's fantastic for that. But and you do get a certain amount of people who jump right on and try to promote their service. But you know what? Nobody is tying you to a chair and making you buy. So I put on your big girl panties and just, go next, right? You can either delete them. Like I keep the contacts on my profile, I keep them private. Even if you're a connection to me, you're still not going to see who else is a connection to me. But I will, if you were to talk to me and say, Vicky, I am an accountant and I'm really, I need more customers, and I'm working in the New York area, and I'd like to have local business. Do you know anybody? I would gladly go through my connections to see who in that New York area I have in my contact list and send them an introduction. Right? So introductions are very, very possible. And that is a really nice way of getting introduced to a potential client. Mm-hmm. Because it's almost as good as a referral, in the sense that if I think enough of you to take my time to introduce you to somebody, right, then obviously there's some, it's not like, she's no good at what she does, but I'm going to introduce her to her anyway, right? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking highly of your expertise, and that's something. That's one other thing that I do see on LinkedIn occasionally is people referring or asking for referrals when they first connect, without any work, without any sort of time to learn about each other. So it's almost like, you go on a kinder date, and the first thing, like somebody is planning a wedding, right? It's like, no, it's a little too soon, right?
Yeah, I've been getting those lately, and it gives you an ooey feeling.
I know, even receiving, a referral or endorsement on LinkedIn from somebody you don't know, it makes me question all of the other referrals that they have given.
Yeah.
Right? Because
yeah.
They don't know if I'm any good or not.
No. And I'll give you another example of something just and guys who are listening, listen to these as potential, don't do this, please, and if you haven't done it or if you've gotten these things, chime in. Let us know on the bottom of this podcast here what you think about these things and whether you've done them and how do they work. But I actually got a connection to a woman who said that, she'd been seeing all of my input and thought that everything I was putting out there was great, and she wanted to connect with me because she was looking for a referral source that she could send clients who didn't fit her well to me. And she wanted to get to know me so that we could see whether, this was a good deal or not. And I'm thinking, wow, that really is a good way to use LinkedIn. We're connecting, we're learning about each other. And she says, let's get on a phone call. And so I said, okay, fine, and sent her my calendar link. Within minutes, I'm getting a phone call. And what she was truly trying to do was to get me to buy a piece of software that she was selling that would connect with LinkedIn to send you your second and third level contacts.
Right.
To get them to possibly become connections of yours.
Yeah.
And guys, that's just not a good way to do it.
Well, some people do it with success, and it really depends on who your market is, who your I find that, and it also really depends on your personal style. And Nancy, I know you are extremely strong in developing true relationships, and you take your time to get to know somebody. You work with them, and you understand what they can do and what they can't do. Right. So really a referral from you would be so much more of a true fit for somebody like me than a referral from somebody that had no idea who I was on LinkedIn. Right.
Well, I think what I was referring to in this situation was it was an outright lie. I'm not even talking about trying to get to the.
Oh, yes. I see. Okay. Yeah.
Lie.
And that's the foot in the door car salesman kind of approach, right? Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, people are uncomfortable in discussing or proposing that you might need my product, right? Or I might have something that could help you. And that something is a product, and that something is monetized. So, I mean, there would be a financial transaction. And it seems like everybody is happy they try to kind of open the door with the free, sample. But, then when it comes to actually, saying, and by the way, if you want the actual product or you want to, if you like the sample, then let's talk about you signing up or subscribing or whatever. And these are the options that you have. So we're a little bit off topic here. Now we're going into more sales and sales psychology, but for LinkedIn, yes, be honest. It's you need to be careful of who you accept connection requests from, but I would encourage you to be fairly generous about allowing people into your network, and then just being observant. And if you see that they are putting a lot of spam out there, or they're spamming you, then it's very easy to then, put that person out of your network and to block them. And like I say, I simply have my connections private, set into a private mode, so that somebody that joins my network cannot then have access, immediate, instant, one-on-one access to all of my connections, because I like to think that there's got to be some care and respect on how you treat people's connection or contact information. So, I mean, but you know what? A simple search will, you just use the search function that's available on LinkedIn, and you'll find the very same people, right?
Yeah.
So that, but yeah, getting back to how you can use LinkedIn to benefit you and your business is your profile. Make sure that your profile is really up to date. Most important parts are your picture. It's got to be current. It's got to be like maybe a head and shoulder shot, not something, not you standing on the beach in front of the water, like with you, like 2,000 yards in the distance, you're this little blob. No kids, no cats, no dogs. And, we know you love your family, but this is a business social media site. It's different on Facebook because that's more family, friends, but this is more business. And so it should be, and no group pictures. Okay. Because if you have even one other person in the picture, there could be a question as to which one are you. So I like to use the comparison of, if that person looking at your profile today were to meet you at a networking function tonight, would they recognize you? Yeah. Right? So that's the other thing. As good as you looked in high school, no high school pictures or, like pictures that are like 30 years old or 20 years old. Occasionally, you can pop one in there for a special occasion or whatever, but that is, it just, like I say, save them for Facebook. Also, for your posts, it's good to get yourself posting and sharing. So now there's two different things. You can post. What a post is a post is either a little picture and a statement, just like a Facebook post, or a share. You see something on your homepage in that section, and you like it, so that you comment and you share it with your own group of connections. And so that is a post. Then articles, you can write an article, which is like a blog, but it's just on LinkedIn. So it's a little bit tougher to share, but you can tag people. If you have specific people that you want to see it, you can tag them. There are strategies and ways that you can get your article in front of the right eyeballs. Takes a lot of work, so I recommend that you take 10 minutes with your coffee in the morning. You check your social medias. And you should probably do this for all of your social medias. And so half an hour in the morning with your coffee at your computer, and you just log in and you take a look and you see, are there messages I need to return? Is there something happen that I need, that changes my profile or requires me to change my profile? Because it's so much easier if you just do it right on the fly, right? And at the time. And like maybe you got a new job, or maybe you got a promotion, or maybe the club that you're volunteering with, has recognized you somehow, right? That kind of thing. So, and you can do that with all of your social media, like I say, just to update it. Take a quick look and see if there's anything that requires your response. And if it does, and if you see anything that is of interest to you that you can comment on, questions you can answer in the groups that you belong to, things like that. It gives you a real, it gives you a nice opportunity to let people know about your expertise and to get you into the conversation and, all of that good stuff, right? So what do you think about that, Nancy?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm just taking everything in that you say.
Oh.
I am a little bit interested in let's talk a little bit about this, because we had a conversation earlier, and it wasn't on LinkedIn, it was on Facebook. Mm-hmm. But I had kept my groups private. Mm-hmm. And told me that in order for me to ever grow my groups and to ever get more information out there, right, I needed to open my groups to public. Yes. And so I'm a little surprised to hear you say to keep your connections private.
That just keeps the list. That just keeps the names and the people private. It just, so you don't see that full, all 600 and some names or however many I've got right now, right? That's the only part of my, that. And I also have a couple of settings turned off for when I update my profile and things like that, right? So there's just a couple of different parts that you need to sort of understand, that they're just toggles, and you can turn them on, you can turn them off. But I used to have my connections totally, not everybody can view them, but people that are in my network could view them. But I did take a workshop, and this was a suggestion that was offered, was to keep my first level connections set to private. And the reason why was because, to protect them from being spammed by new members, right?
Yeah, and I understand that totally.
Yes. And so, but that's the only part really. Now you mentioned groups. LinkedIn everybody has got a different opinion about what's happening with LinkedIn groups. And I don't own a group on LinkedIn because, personally, I just think they're too much work. But I am a member of a few groups, and so.
Yeah. And I have a group, and I haven't touched it in months. So I'm thinking, oh crap, I got to get in there and start working on my group.
Well, and that's something else that I just wanted to kind of bring to people's attention. As a business owner, I mean, are you in the business of social media, or are you in the business of selling shoes or fixing pipes or, building houses, whatever your main business is, that is your main business. And social media is a tool. And which one should you be on? Well, you should be on the one that your clients are on.
Absolutely.
Right? Strictly, so, I mean, if your demographic, if your clients are between the ages of 35 to 65 and, kind of even men, women, and like baby boomers, let's say, okay, then you're not going to be on Snapchat, right?
Right.
Like, do any of us, older folk, like, oh my God, but do any of us actually really understand how to, use Snapchat properly? I don't even know. I know it's like, you can get all these weird filters and then apparently the pictures only stay on for a few seconds, and by the time I figure out what I'm looking at, it's gone, right?
Yeah, I need a flying pig.
Yeah, that's there you go. But it's like, don't be on every social media if you don't have a chance to at least visit it once a week. Mm-hmm. And I'm guilty of the same thing. I mean, I've got a list, as long as my arm of different social media platforms. But I use different social medias for different things, like Twitter is one thing and Pinterest is another, and Instagram is connected to Facebook. And so, I can kind of double whammy that kind of nicely. So it's sort of like, it's not like two separate. I can ride the one with the other. And then of course LinkedIn, but and I use LinkedIn, like I say, for people getting to know me as a business person. Mm-hmm. I use Facebook for people to get to know me as a business, right? So my brand is on Facebook. So my coaching business is on Facebook. My groups are all around, the coaching is on Facebook. A lot of people that, start off on LinkedIn will start a group on Facebook, because that's where people hang out, right? So, you can't say, well, I only ever want to be on LinkedIn. Well, you could actually, but you have to accept with that the fact that you're probably not going to capture as large an audience as you would if you use the two different medias in conjunction with each other, right?
Well, and I think, too, that for me personally, I connect with people on Facebook. I chat. I talk with them. I keep up with what they're doing on a daily basis.
Exactly. People are already there, right? We don't have to bring them there. They're already there. So, and especially if they're, on your friends list or on your messenger,
Right. What I do though with LinkedIn is that's where I'm involved in groups there. And so I'm quite involved and I do things. And I have found with both Facebook and LinkedIn, since I've really started doing this, if I pay attention to the posts that other people are putting up, and I respond to them. Exactly. And I ask questions and I share my knowledge. What I'm doing on LinkedIn is I am becoming the expert in my field.
Exactly. And that is exactly the way that, you're not going into these groups and saying, here's a product I have, buy. You're saying, here's a solution, like you're following a conversation, and then you're injecting an appropriate solution to whatever it is that is being discussed, right? Now, if you don't have a solution, you might have a question.
Absolutely.
This may be something that you're interested in learning more about yourself. And then you can pipe up and say, you know what, wow, this is a great conversation. I'd love to hear more myself because because as long as there is some sort of interaction, and this applies to both LinkedIn and Facebook, as long as there is some interaction, then the engagement is elevated for that comment or post, or and so you're being helpful just by your comment, just by your engaging. It's the ranking for it really goes, if you like something, that's kind of like the lowest point of the totem pole for engagement, right? Mm-hmm. And then share is up there, but commenting is the gold, right? So either you can offer, even, just like something and say, wow, great post. That if you want to help somebody grow their audience, that's gold. And then what'll happen is they'll start following your posts, and they'll, because if you never comment, share, or like other people's posts, nobody's going to like yours, unless you have a spectacular article, right? Yeah. And it's not because they're not even, nobody's withholding to be mean. It's just you're not on their radar, They don't know who you are.
Right. Well, and that's exactly it. Let's face it, we're all busy, but if we can set aside, a little bit of time where we can focus on one group or 2 or 3 people that we connect with in some way or another, and you can share with them, you can like their things, you can all of this kind of stuff, you start to grow because they then like what you're doing. And
well, that's right, you're now in their radar. You now, because let's face it, every time if somebody likes and comments on the post of mine, I check them out. Right? And it's like, okay, who are you? Yeah. Oh, okay. So then I am much more receptive to, when I see that profile picture popping up. Oh, what does Jane Doe have to say?
Yeah. Well, and then you can take it once you've done that for a little while and you've gotten so that you start to know these people a little bit personally, just from connecting with them online through here. Then if you see something they're saying and something comes across your radar that would pertain to them, or you think they should know about, you can send them a private message.
Absolutely. Saying, you know what, Martha, I saw this article and I remembered you mentioning this, and I thought that did you see it? Right. And you send that to them. Now, what happens to Martha, right? Oh my God! Even if she's seen it, and even if she's already received that art or like seen it on her own and whatever, she's now going, my God, look at what Nancy did. I mean, she actually listened to what I was saying and remembered what it was that I needed, and she's responded to it, and it's, I mean, that is, and you, okay, so you're not doing this in a manipulative way that, okay, I'm gonna do this just so I can get this back, because there's never any guarantee you're going to get anything back. But I'll tell you what, it makes your chances of establishing a really good working relationship with somebody down the road. Like, they may never have any need for the service that you offer, but are they going to recommend you or pass your name along to people in their network that pipe up and say, you know what, I need to get onto a podcast. I really need to start getting my name out there, and I want to get onto a couple of really good podcasts. I don't know how to do that. And then all of a sudden, Martha goes, you know what? You talk to Nancy Becker, and, she's got a weekly podcast, and she covers this and this and this, and I can guarantee you, if you're not a fit for her podcast, she's going to connect you with somebody else who you are a perfect fit for. That kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, let's face it. We all are doing this stuff, bottom line, because we want business.
Yes.
But we also have to understand in this day and age, if a person is in need of something right now, that's one thing. But for most of us, we're not looking for something that do or die, we got to have this moment. We're looking for things that down the road we might want.
That's right. If you're going to have if you want instant business, then maybe Shopify is kind of the way you need to go. And you need to have like physical product. You need to be able to sell stuff. You need to be able to make profit on each item, right? And so you set yourself up with a Shopify store, and then you monetize that, right? And there's definitely some strategies that work around that as well, whether they're hard physical products or whether they are programs that you can find that people can use and then mark up, like your friend probably on the LinkedIn leads, right? Mm-hmm. She's probably a an affiliate, and and now able to make some product, right? But
for the most of us, I think the bottom line of all of this is that we have to realize that it takes time.
Yes, that's
work.
right.
It takes effort. We have to be able to, and we need to be able to do this in several different ways. Just being on LinkedIn alone is probably not the best solution. Like you said earlier, we need Facebook, we need LinkedIn, we need 2 or 3.
You need that synergy between a couple of different medias, just because the different medias, each one does something different, right? And like I say, like for my LinkedIn, if you want to get to know who Vicky is on a professional business level, come to my profile. That'll give you a very good snapshot of who I am. You can see my work experience, my general overall view of how I conduct my business, of my volunteers, of my interests and habits, hobbies. You can read some of my articles that I've posted. Now also you'll be able to see videos because LinkedIn is going into that area, right? We're definitely offering video media. And but if you want, if I want to do business, I'm going to go to Facebook, because that's where the groups are. That's where my other group is. And even Facebook, that's not, I'm going to put it out there today and sell it tomorrow. Facebook is brand recognition. That's where my business persona is sort of resides, which is, I know it sounds a little contradictory, but it's
well, we can talk about that next time, because that's a whole nother subject, and unfortunately we are running out of time.
Oh my God, you see, I ran through that hour with
that was great. But what I do want to say thank you so very much, and
thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And I know that you have a little something that you're willing to offer to the people.
Okay, sure. Yeah, and this is something, if you're not sure, like if you've been on LinkedIn for a while and like you're one of those few that it's not working for you, I'm happy to do a kind of a mini profile audit at absolutely no cost, no pressure, no nothing. And so what that will cover, what you will get from that is, I will take a look at your profile, and then we will have a Zoom or Skype conversation, whichever is the easiest for you, and so I can discuss a little bit about your profile to you. And I will give you some recommendations, and you will get this in a little written format as well, so that you don't have to remember everything. And it's not going to be really hugely in-depth, because, an in-depth profile it takes much, much longer, but it will, give you some pointers as to what you can do quickly, easily, and immediately to improve your chances of getting found by the right people on LinkedIn. And part of our conversation will also be me finding out a little bit more about you, so that then I can recommend, how you can change your headline, or how you can add information to reach the market, or to reach the audience that you specifically need to reach with your profile. So, a couple of hours to do this, and I think that you would definitely get a benefit out of it. But Nancy will put the link to my website.
Well, I was just going to ask you to go ahead and tell everybody what's the best way to reach you.
Sure. Well, the best way to reach me for this is just to go to my website, which is vickyknee.com. So that's VICKYKNEE.com. And at the bottom of the homepage, there is a Let's Talk link, and that'll just connect you with my calendar, and just book a time that's convenient for you. And in the comments, you can say, looking for a LinkedIn profile audit, or just reference LinkedIn. And then so that way we'll know what we're meeting about. And give me your profile address on that so that I can prepare beforehand. That way I'll be ready with some information. I'll have a chance to take a look before we meet. And then when we talk, we can discuss what kind of strategies would be best for you. And again, this is just because you're a listener of Nancy's podcast. Yeah. So you can thank Nancy.
Well, thank you, Vicky. I really appreciate that. And guys, go ahead. Did you have something else you needed to say?
No. I just want to say, tell everybody that I really thank them for listening, and I encourage them to really jump in and get a little bit more involved in their own social media, because
it's important.
It is important. If you need to be on social media, then you need to do it right. If you don't need to be on it, well then, just get yourself off of it. Right?
Yeah, don't. But and true, and this will take a whole nother conversation. But even if you're a brick and mortar store, in today's age, you need to be on social media.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I tell you what, like a lot of the brick and mortar stores now their brick and mortar locations are really just showrooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They need to let people don't read newspapers much anymore. They don't read the local advertising. They when was the last time somebody opened up a Yellow Pages? They go to find an ad.
Don't even have a photo. I mean, it's like it and I'm that older generation that typically still gets the paper delivered every day, but we don't, because it why? I can get everything I need online.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Yeah. So with that being said, thank you very much, my dear friend. I appreciate so much that you took the time out on today to talk with us.
I hope I was helpful.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And if anybody has any questions, you can get a hold of Vicky at her address that she gave you. You can always get a hold of me at nancy@don'twaittillpigsfly.com. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast in the future, you can go to my website, and there's a little tab up at the top that says Podcast Guests. Just click on that and sign up for a chat, and we'll see if it makes sense for us to work together on a podcast. Until next time, guys, you can hear these programs live on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and a couple of others that I can't even think of at the moment. So, but you can hear us on Thursday evenings live at 5 p.m. Eastern. And I would love to have you continue to download, to listen, to be a part of, ask questions, tell me the kinds of topics that you would like to hear about in the future. And until we talk again, I hope you take some of these words of wisdom, apply them to your business, and soar higher. We'll talk to you all again real soon. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye, all.
Thank you for listening to Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly with host Nancy Becker. Join Nancy every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Global Voice Radio.